everyone. Yeah, I would like to share a little bit of this topic with everyone, which sometimes people are a little bit shy to talk about, or a little bit afraid, or feel, how to say, shy away from this topic because it's not very comfortable. It's not very comfortable to talk about money. Do you realize that? It's very sensitive to talk about money. But in actual fact, it's not, if you know what are the things that you want to talk about, right? So, but before we go into the topic, I want to check with all of you here. Who is very excited about Herbalife opportunity? Say me. Yeah. Who is excited about Herbalife opportunity? Awesome, awesome. All of you, amazing, amazing. Now, the next question is, I would like you to tell me, what are you excited about Herbalife business or Herbalife opportunity here, right? Maybe you give me one reason, one of your top reasons why you're most excited about this Herbalife business. Coach Adeline, money. Jeannie, financial freedom, income, RO every month. For Maverick, yeah, Maverick, all the way from Singapore, our good friend, our mentor. Hanson, healthy, wealthy, passive income, flexibility. Wow. Finally, today I open up the door. Everyone start talking about money. Usually everyone say about, I want to help people, I want to make impact to the world, I want to help, I want to get healthier. But today everyone is talking about income. That's really good. Passive income, mission, helping others. Now, the next question I want you to ask yourself, from the list of things that you're very excited about Herbalife, do you know how to share with your friends about your excitement? About why are you excited? And have you been sharing with your friends? Why are you so excited about this opportunity? Have you? If you know, then say yes. If you don't know, say no. What is this? I don't understand the sign. Wow, some of you yes, some of you no, no problem. Very good, very good. Yeah. So in today's training, first of all, the whole objective of today's training is that we want to share with everyone. Personally, I myself, I'm very into, I like business. I like to look into numbers. I like to look into how to grow a business as well, and from different point of view. So as you all know, that my background was actually in working in corporate for about 13 years. And I was actually, how to say, move myself towards a department called business development or sales. Like I actually worked in the same company for 11 years. My total working experience is 13 years, but my last job is 11 years in the same company. But I actually moved from an engineer to a business development, and I have changed 7 positions over 11 years, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 7 positions in 11 years. So I tried quite a lot of different departments to experience things. But I myself, I'm always very curious about all this business aspect and how people think. What is business modeling? What is business case? All these words were so new to me that I don't understand anything. But I was very curious to learn about all these things. So are you excited to learn about what are all these business terms and the perspective of people, you know? So a couple of contexts I want to set for everyone first. First of all, yes, the whole objective today is I want to give you some business, finance, as well as economy perspective in looking into the market right now, in looking into the various income or business stream, right? And secondly, I would like to actually share with you, why am I so excited about Herbalife? I'm very, very, very excited, super excited about Herbalife. The longer I stay in Herbalife, the more excited I am. Yeah, you will definitely feel that one day as well. Yeah, but also I would like you to see what do I see or what others see in this business or in their current situations. So we have a different angles, different cap that you need to wear today. So I'm going to fry your brain a little bit today. Yeah, so get ready your tea mix because you need some energy and a little bit of caffeine to charge you up to have 100% focus and take down lots of notes, because all these words that I say, that I share with you, is going to be your general knowledge. It's more than general knowledge, actually. It's going to be some insight, some knowledge that you can actually have a very good conversation with quality people that you would like to recruit. Yeah. And last but not least, I also would like to share with you what are the typical pain points for all these people from different sectors in life or in business, right? Okay, for some of you, they are actually attended our Future Active World Team training a couple of days ago. Yes, today's training, I will touch more or less similar to what we talked about the other day. Reason being is that our leaders were saying that that was a very good insight and very important information for everyone to hear. So that's why I'm doing this sharing here today again. But for those that attended on that day, I guarantee you there are a lot more information and deeper information I'm going to share here today. And then, and this is a good opportunity for you to take down more notes and more detail, because what you are hearing this as a second time is that you're going to wear a cap that, how do I present this information? How do I share this information to my audience in the future? Okay, so I'd like you to have that kind of point of view to look into it. Good. Now, are you ready? Ready to get your brain fried a little bit? Okay, good. Now, how many packs do we have? We have 90 packs today, and we have Singapore team here. Welcome, Singapore team. Yay! All right, good. Let's go ahead. Let's start. Can you see my slide? Good. Let me set this up first. So the whole key thing is about, first of all, we want to help everyone to improve your recruitment, right? The recruitment, the best that we can do is actually through attractions. So since the beginning, when Millie and I, when we first started on our business, we were not 100% clear about what is the business we're going to get into, but we were very clear about our vision and our excitement. So whenever we go out and talk to people, our friends, or having a coffee sessions or dinner sessions, we are constantly sharing our visions. But what people feel or understand from us, they probably don't 100% understand what we are thinking or going through, because we ourselves, we also don't 100% understand about the business yet. As the first 6 months of the business, we're still try, and we're still experimenting, we're still trying. But what people feel from us is our energy, So, and they also see the belief that we have in this business, the vision that we have in this business is so great and so powerful. And they got so curious to understand that what exactly that attracted you and make you, Jason and Millie, quit your job and do this full time. Are you crazy? Are you getting crazy? You are in a corporate good position, and then you want to quit your job and do this, and you want to do MLM? Are you serious? I still remember my CFO told me that, hey, don't worry, there's always a job, or CEO actually just told me there's always a job waiting for you to come back here if you decided to come back. Then I told them, no, I'm not going to come back. I love the company that I used to work with, but I just don't want to go back to the 9-to-5 job anymore, right? So that's the reason why, first stop, if you want to attract good quality people to you, write down the notes. Your excitement is the key thing. Your excitement is the most important thing. Secondly, is your belief. Your belief. Third thing, your understanding. Your understanding about the business, right? So now you may have your own understanding so far about the business, your knowledge and experience about our business so far. But what I'm going to bring you today is to a different angles to see things from a different point of view. Now, how many of you have heard about Robert Kiyosaki? Raise your hand. I can see you in the video. Yeah. Those of you have actually heard about the name Robert Kiyosaki or read his book, raise your hand. Wow, still a lot of people haven't known about it. Wow, okay. For those of you that haven't heard about Robert Kiyosaki, highly encourage you especially when you're young, or actually it doesn't matter what age you are, highly encourage you to pick up the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, to read. That I'm not a lover for book. I never like to read, but that was my first book that I read cover to cover. I read that book about 20 plus years ago. I think when I was 21 years old, 22 years old. Yeah, so it's about 22 years ago that I read the book. That totally gave me a different point of view and gave me a very clear direction on where I want to go. So the second book that he came up with those days is called Cash Flow 101. I also highly encourage you to pick up that book to read. Cash Flow 101 talk about different segments, which is the topic that I'm going to talk about today. Okay. Now, have you seen this before? Anyone hasn't seen this before? Say new. This is new to me. Yeah. Let me open up the chat somewhere so I can interact with you guys. Okay, we have a couple of people that haven't seen this before. No problem. I'm going to explain and walk you through. Now, before I get into this, in this chart itself, right, it shows you 4 different areas. Namely, we have ESBI, employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. Now, I'm going to raise a poll. Orion, shall I launch a poll? Okay, I'm going to launch a poll. I would like you to click what is your current position right now. Let's take 10 seconds. Everyone click on the poll that pop up in your screen. Let me know. We have gone about 50%. I'm going to give another 10 more seconds. Choose which area are you in. Are you employee? Are you self-employed? Are you business owner? Or are you investor today? Whether you're still working full-time in a job, that's okay. Just choose employee. Yeah. Good. We have 64 out of 94 people picked up. And we're going to close in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let me share the poll with everyone. Can you see the poll result in your screen? Do you see a poll result in your screen, everyone? If yes, nod your head. All right, good. So now in this room itself, 57% of the people here in this room are still an employee, and 28% of you are self-employed, and 15% are business owner. Interesting, very good. Yeah. So this is very typical in the world as well. If you look at the whole pyramid of the worldwide workforce, the majority of people are actually at the lowest, the greatest number of people is actually employee zone. Okay, good that I know this, 57% of you. So now I'm going to walk through with you zone by zone. Let's start off with the employee first. Employee, of course, someone that is working for a job, someone that is working 9 to 5. But in fact, it's no longer 9 to 5 anymore, right? So someone that you have a job, that you're reporting a boss, you're under a company, right? You are basically selling your time to the company. So how much can you sell your time for a company? Have you actually done that calculation before? Now, I would like you to pull out your calculator. If those of you that are employee, pull out a calculator. Take your current gross salary before tax. Gross salary divided by 22 days in a month, divided by 10. Because nowadays, most of you don't work 8 hours a day. You don't work 9 to 5 anymore. You work more than 10 hours. You work more than 8 hours a day. So that is your hourly rate that company is paying you. That is your hourly rate that company is valuing you, right? Okay, you got your number. You don't have to tell me how much is the number. You just know it for yourself, okay? Now, next. I want you to see this. This is a group of people that is actually working 9 to 5. I came from 9 to 5, but it's never 9 to 5 anymore, right? Or whenever we say 9 to 5 job, it's just a representation. But honestly speaking, I used to work from 10 o'clock to 12 a.m. or even around the clock for 24 hours before, also when highest job. But there are also times that I was very relaxed in my job, depends on what role that I was having, right? But typically, especially in Asia, most of you are actually, or most of us, we are actually working more than 10 hours a day. Agree or not? If agree, type agree, yeah? So now, do you know one thing that out of that 4 quadrant, who actually contributed the most tax to the government? Do you know that? Yes, Hanson, that's right, employee. Employee contributed the most tax to the entire government system. Why? Do you know why? Because that's why government is not actually taxing the business owners who is multi-millionaire, billionaire, and they are making so much money, the company making so much money, but why are they not taxing them higher? Instead, they tax employee higher. For example, in Malaysia, the personal income tax, the highest bracket could go up to 30%. Of course, it's a progressive, right? You can go as high as 30%, but corporate tax is only 24%. You see that, right? And why government set up that system that way is because business owner create job opportunities. Therefore, they actually create thousands and thousands of jobs for people. And government wants to make money from the employee. That's why they actually give a lower tax and incentive to business owners. I'm sure that a lot of you heard about what is MSC status in Malaysia, right? Multimedia Super Corridor since some years ago. And then MSC status was actually given to those companies that is related to IT. And then they don't have to pay tax. Why? Because they are hiring, giving job opportunity to knowledge worker, which is higher salary worker. And then government are able to tax them more. So it's a win-win situation for government. That's why employee get taxed the most. Then question to ourselves here, if we are the employee, what happened? Why am I working so hard? I have limited, I'm working on my hourly rate, but yet I'm paying the most tax in a way. It's not fair, right? Why would I want to continue to be an employee? Now, in my sharing today, you might be wearing multiple hats. I want you to keep switching a hat. You can be switching, wearing a hat that is evaluating yourself, your current position, right? You can be imagining that you are talking to someone, your friend, over the dinner, over a Zoom session, catch-up sessions, over a coffee or anything to talk about life, a deeper conversation. So these are the pain points that they are actually facing that potentially can sort of bring that up and discuss about it and help them to realize that what are the things that they are missing out in this world, what are the things that they can actually improve their life. And that could turn out to be a recruitment opportunity for you, right? Okay. So now, second thing, you look at this picture here, US dollar, ringgit. Do you know what's the exchange rate right now for ringgit and US dollar? It's about $4 something, right? 4.16, right? Past few days has increased to 4.16. Years ago, it was 3.8 as well, right? Now, just to share with you, my income is from Malaysia. I'm living in Australia, right? Do you know that, like, just to share with you, there's a minimum wage in Australia, in a lot of countries as well. I'm not sure whether Singapore has a minimum wage regulations or not. Yeah, maybe for those Singaporeans here, you can share with me as well. But just to share with you, in Australia, the minimum wage, even though you are a cleaner, you are a cashier, you are a waitress, the government actually point out to all the business owner, minimum, you must pay them this minimum wage. And how much is that? It's actually 2,700 Aussie dollar. So you multiply by 3, Australian dollar to ringgit is about 3 point something. So you just take it as 3, right? It comes out to about 10,000 ringgit. Can you imagine? 10,000 ringgit for doing the lowest job you get minimum 10,000 ringgit in Australia. And what happened to us? If 10,000 ringgit in Malaysia is a manager position already, what is the starting pay in Malaysia? Fresh grad probably 1,800, 2,000 ringgit, right? But then there are a lot of people are still blue collar are earning less than 1,000 ringgit. So the salary, because of the currency, ringgit is so weak, right? What happened? Can you imagine? Have you ever experienced a travel to overseas? Or just say travel to our neighboring country, Singapore. Wow, so painful, right? We walk into Singapore restaurant, you look at the food, or you go to Australia, or especially come to Singapore, food is still very cheap actually. But you come to Australia, or you go to US, you go to Europe country, you walk into a restaurant, you look at the menu. Wow, I walked into a Malaysia restaurant in Australia. Guess how much is a nasi lemak here? It's 17 Aussie dollar for one nasi lemak, which is about 50 ringgit for one nasi lemak. A roti canai, $16 here, which is about 40 over ringgit for 2 pieces of roti canai. Crazy, right? So you want to have a lunch or anything, if I'm earning ringgit Malaysia and you are traveling overseas for holiday, you feel a pinch in your pocket. You almost have to sacrifice your whole year of saving for that one single trip for the year. Yeah, London is £9, 45 ringgit, about same, London, yeah. So because of the currency in ringgit is so low, whatever, and unfortunately, most of us are working in 9-to-5 jobs, right? And what will happen? Your whole year savings, it mean very small when you go to the world and travel to other countries, or even compared to other countries or neighboring countries, right? So do you feel that we are a little bit on the lower hand in that way? We might be, right? But thankfully, if we were just to stay in Malaysia, cuti Malaysia, no problem. Everything is still very cheap in Malaysia in terms of food, and everything is still okay, it's still affordable for all of us because it's adjusted according to the economy in Malaysia, right? So think about it, what is your dream? Is inside your goal list, inside your dream list, is traveling around the world, traveling around to other countries, bringing your family to overseas is part of your dream list? If yes, then how many years of savings that you need to have in order to make those trips? Or how many months of savings you need to have in order to make those trips? Then when it comes to 9-to-5 job, this group of people, what this group of people are worried about, they always pray. I pray that I won't lose my job. No, last time is no, before pandemic is I pray that I get a good bonus. I pray that I get a good increment from my boss, right? And hopefully the boss give me a good increment. Wow, when the next year, the boss, once a year, they give you a letter and give you 5% increment, while you celebrate already, very good increment. And then give you 10% increment, they promote you next level, but they only give you 10% or 12% increment. You celebrate already, right? But now in this past 1 year, we pray what? We pray that we don't lose our job. We pray that we don't get a pay cut. That's reality right now. And we are already very grateful that if we don't lose a job. So those are the fear and the pain points that employees is facing right now. They understand job security is no longer there, right? And look at this. For those of us that is staying in KL, I myself, just to share with you, I grew up in Selayang. My first job was actually in Sri Kembangan. I have traveled about 50 kilometers one way to work. And then later on, my office moved to Cyberjaya. Then I have to travel 70 kilometers or 80 kilometers one way to office. And I used to stuck in the traffic for 1.5 hours to work one way. So through and flow, 3 hours a day spent on traffic. I just calculated, there's one day last time, I calculated, wow, because I need to make that income or paycheck, and every day I'm spending 3 hours in the traffic, stuck in traffic. Someone have to pay toll. Pay toll, someone have to stuck in the traffic and wait there. Pay money and still have to wait. Yeah, allow me to be a little bit honest today in my sharing today. It might sound a little bit pessimistic or a little bit but these are real. I just trying to be honest with you. What are the pain points? So all of us experience this. Once you pay toll, stuck in traffic. I need to actually sleep in my car halfway when I drive back after work. I need to stop halfway and sleep, take a nap for about 20 minutes, only continue to drive because too tired. I do that a lot. So I calculated 3 hours a day in the traffic. Over 1 year, I literally spent 1.5 months of my life in the traffic. Yeah. 3 hours a day divided by 24 hours. Yeah. And then times 12 months. That is literally 1.5 months wasted sitting in a car in the traffic jam. How unproductive it is. Right? So, of course, things go different way that I need to move and stuff like that. But this is a very common issue with a lot of people nowadays, unfortunately. Anyone that feel experienced this year? Traffic jam in KL? If yes, type me. How many hours you spend a day in the traffic to go to work? Back and forth. But of course, not in this past 1 year past 1 year pandemic lockdown. Everyone spent only 1 minute to work, only log on to Zoom and work, log on to computer and work. Very efficient. Now everybody feel the difference in between the traffic and working from home, right? Yeah. And then the boss is very happy because the boss are able to make your traffic time become your work desk time. How efficient is that? Yeah. Then I want to share with you about this. A lot of people are still having an employee mindset. Majority of people in the world are having an employee mindset because it's very comfortable. It's so comfortable that I won't be able to let go what I'm earning. When I first graduated from school, from college, I told myself I'm going to only spend 5 years in working for 9-to-5 job so that I want to learn how they operate a business. Then I start my own business. But guess what happened? 5 years turned to be 13 years. Why that happened? It's because I got too comfortable. I got too comfortable that because of increment, the little increment that every year the company is giving me, it makes me feel so protected, feel so entitled, feel so safe in a way, right? And then guess what? My dream of becoming an entrepreneur becomes smaller and smaller. My guts become smaller and smaller. And I dare not actually venture out because if I were to venture into any business, I need to almost take my whole lifelong savings and put into it and gamble on it. So my guts was getting smaller and smaller. But if you are having a conversation nowadays with a lot of your friends or even your prospect about talking about business, still a lot of them is tell you that, hey, doing MLM, doing Herbalife, there's no stable income or have you heard about this? No stable income? Yeah. And how I answer them is, you are right. You are so right. It's never stable. MLM is never stable. Business income is never stable. In fact, there's like up and down all the way. But if I were to look at the whole year compared to a few years ago, my income has increased like multiple times. It's never stable. It's never a straight line. Yeah. But employee is always a straight line. It's almost like, you know, when it's just like a ICU in ICU or the computer machine, the heart detector, seeing your pulse rate, when they tick tock, all this beeping is actually means that you are still alive. And there's an up and down means your business is still alive. So when your income in Herbalife is a little bit low, you have to celebrate because there is a potential for growth. Means that you can't go any lower than that. You can go higher only, and you're still alive. Yeah. So employee mindset. Thankfully nowadays, everyone realize that it's no longer security. They understand the job security is not there anymore. If you still have friends that still think that there's a job security, you probably have to ask them to wake up a little bit and look around the world. Yeah, they are probably a little bit too, how to say, a bit too naive in a way. Yeah. Stable salary. They want to have stable salary. They want to have a structured work life. Yeah, I just want a structured work life that I want to clock in at 9 o'clock. I want to clock out at 5 o'clock, and the rest of the time I can spend with my family. And then I can celebrate my weekend. In my 13 years of work life, guess what? I never had that as well. Even weekend, I got to work around the clock. Holiday, I got to work around the clock as well. So, but that was never in my blueprint about how I think about how I want to spend my time in my career. Yeah, but some people, unfortunately, they are still having that. Narrow scope responsibility, consistent routine. They want a consistent routine. Consistent routine means what? There's no growth. There's no growth. There's a routine. There's no excitement. There's no challenges. It means there's no growth. But what we want to have, what all of you have here, because you are a Herbalife coach and you are stepping into an entrepreneurial world already, you are taking chances. You are betting your life. You're betting on your own image, people, how they look at you. You know, now all of you, I'm very proud of all of you, is because you don't care about how people think about MLM, because you have your own belief in how great is this business opportunity. True or true? Yeah, you already know the decision you're making is right because you already see it through. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who haven't seen it. We just have to help them to understand that. Yeah. More work freedom, less life freedom. Do you understand this? This is very interesting. More work freedom, less life freedom. We can work anytime that we want. We can choose to work anywhere that we want. We might have a little bit less life freedom for the time being, meaning to say, weekend, I still have to work. Some people weekend are chilling out, 9 to 5 people chilling out, celebrate weekend. But all of us here, we're in this Zoom training, we're still growing our mind, we're still working. There's no life freedom. But it's okay because we're investing in ourselves. We're working for future growth. What we're looking at is growing our income to be 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, 20 times more than what we expect, right? We are willing to take charge and take more responsibility. That's our mindset as entrepreneur. We always have a full schedule. My office hour is the time that I open up my eye. My office closes when I close my eye, when I go to bed and sleep. So that is my mindset because Herbalife is my life. And I'm very excited about it. Guess what? Because my business literally follow me wherever I go in the world. I can live in Australia, I can live in Bali, I can go into Mediterranean Sea, and we can live there. And all of you have this freedom is because of globalization and Herbalife structure as well, right? So tell me, anything else that you have seen in an employee, what are the pain points of an employee that I haven't actually pointed out? Anyone? While I have my sip of water. People decide the future. It's so right, Manisha. Today, being an employee, they can't decide their future. It's always, they hope for the best. They pray for the best. They pray the upper levels see them, right? And guess what? One of the personal experience about this employee mindset, I'm not sure whether you detect that or not. Do you realize that when you walk into the kopitiam in Malaysia, there are a lot of uncle, the businessmen, they are wearing shorts and wearing slipper, but they're actually multi-millionaire. Do you realize that? And in the same kopitiam or coffee shop, you see a lot of young people that are wearing like shirt, tie, a nice polished shoe, and then a nice watch and all those, but they are very poor. Poor in the sense they're very tight in their budget. They are very tight. Why? It's because they are working in 9 to 5 job and they're having an employee mindset. They have the peer pressure. This is my personal belief when I was young as well, because I believe that in order for me to climb on the corporate ladder, I need to shine among my peers. I need to fight among my peers and then be on the top, right? I need to shine. I need to let the top see me that I can work, right? But a part of it is you got to dress up nice, presentable, right? You got to have a nice outfit, a nice watch to impress others. keep up with the Jonases. And guess what? At the end, you have all these, you got to have the latest phone, you got to have the latest iPad and watches and all those stuff. At the end, all these become your debts, and you're working for to make other people happy. There are a lot of employees having this mindset here. Okay, so unfortunately that is happening. But after later stage, I realized that, you know, like businessmen, all the uncle, auntie, they wear shorts and slippers going to a coffee shop. It's because they don't care other people look at them. They know they are rich inside their heart. They don't care how people see them because they know what they're doing is right, which is I highly encourage everyone is we need to move out from keep up with Jonases. You don't have to, in order to jailbreak yourself, break free from yourself from all these things that tie you down, you need to remove yourself from the peer pressure, right? That you don't have to impress others that you don't like. Okay. Next, another thing, a lot of employees don't have a dream. They forgot to dream. This is a little photo of me and Meili. We are actually really enjoying where we are right now in Australia. We love nature a lot, which we realize a lot of beautiful things doesn't cost money. A lot of beautiful things in the world doesn't cost money, but it just take up a little bit of your effort and take up a little bit of your time to actually execute it and do it, right? And we're so fortunate that we set a dream for ourselves that we wanted to live in a different place in the world and experience different things, because we believe our greatest asset is our life experience that we want to accumulate. So we don't buy a lot of expensive material stuff, but we buy experiences that enhance our life. So, but a lot of employees' mindset, the employees, people, they forgot to dream. Why? Because they are only calculating every single month, how much money have I left? How much money I can save? What trip can I make next year for holiday? And then they forgot about the bigger dream. They're only looking at the smaller things, then what is the next phone I want to buy? Right? So in the table talk with your friends, these are the small little chat you can have. Hey, what was your dream last time when you were young? Make that a conversation. What is your dream? And the next question, ask them, for what you are doing right now, if you continue to do it for the next 10 years, are you able to achieve what you want to achieve? Yeah. So this will become a very interesting conversation for them. And then they will also ask you back, what's your dream? If you today, you are part of the Wellness Experts, I believe that all of you have a great, great dream. That's the reason why you are here today, right? So share with them your visions, what exactly you're working on, even though you haven't achieved that, but you have the vision clearly right in front of you. You have seen many examples, successful examples in front of you, right? If you still don't have your dream yet, I highly encourage you to list down your dream and talk with your friends and share with them as well. Let's go into the next one, self-employed. Who are these people? Self-employed are the one that working for themselves. They hire themselves. That's why they call self-employed. And they are creating a job for themselves. They're creating opportunity for themselves, right? There is no leverage on anybody in any system or any other people or leveraging on money. No, they are typically also selling their time for money, just that they have a little bit more money than people in employee because their time is precious, right? Who are these people? Gym instructor, Grab driver. This is funny. Can you wait for 45 minutes? I can't, sir. Time is gold for me. I have limited time. If I wait for you 45 minutes, I lose 2 trips, 3 trips. I make less money as a Grab driver. They hire themselves to do the work. Do you know supermodel and doctors are also self-employed? Not entirely all the doctors are self-employed, but some doctors are self-employed. Yeah, some doctors are self-employed. When you meet this group of people, what are their pain points? Pain points. Something that they struggle, that they face as a challenge. they don't have holiday at all. They have literally no holiday because the day they decide to go holiday, there's no income. Unfortunately, some of them, they committed to very high commitment. They can't stop working. They have to continue work. No family time, that's right, no family time, right? And then they can't duplicate themselves because the skill sets, because all these people, they are very kind. They are here to service people. They are providing service. They're selling the service and knowledge to other people. But they can't duplicate themselves because their skill set is very unique. They probably can, but by the time they teach someone to do it, they probably lose, they become their competitions in a way, right? And they can't hand over their business to the next generation. The other day I was talking about, you imagine if, let's say, Benny is a gym instructor. Can he make sure that his son or next generation can be a gym instructor? Cannot, right? They have to walk their path again through that. So it's not a business that I can hand over all my clients. Benny hand over all the clients to the son to take care. No, there's no such thing, right? So because when we talk about when you grow up to 40 years old and above, right? This group of people, they start to think if they are self-employed and they are at the age of 40 and above, they start to think about, hey, how do I make my succession plan? Succession plan means that how do I pass forward to my next generation, my business? How can I continue to do that? And how do I pass my wealth to the next generation of people as well? Yeah. And this group of people, they know whatever they do is for a limited time only. Can you imagine that this group of super young, hot Victorian model can do walk the walkway, catwalk for life? Their lifespan is probably only 10 years, right? Yeah. And then doctors are one of the biggest sacrifice in the world. They are helping so many people to get healthier, but unfortunately, they are actually tormenting their own health. They are sacrificing their health, their family time for people. They are very noble. Unfortunately, they are not sort of like they neglected themselves, right? And the worst case is all these professionals, they are having a high risk of having a lawsuit as well. Why? Because they're providing service. If anything go wrong, they might get a lawsuit, and whatever wealth they have accumulated, if they don't structure it correctly, they might lose everything. So these are the concerns that they have, right? Even doctors for limited time only, they know that their work stress is so high, they don't see themselves can work in such a high stress environment for the next 10 years, 20 years. They already feel very tired and exhausted already. Yeah. So we empathize them. Yeah. But there's another group of people that's self-employed. You recognize this? Housewife. You guys are amazing. Who is housewife here? If you're a housewife, raise your hand. Yeah, we have a couple of you here, right? Wow, really housewife, man. Right. I have to say this, that I think housewife is really, really amazing. You are you're taking up a job that is without pay, and your commitment is for life, and you're raising kids as a mom. Is very noble. But what's interesting here is that housewife, they give so much love to their family, to their kids and husband, right? Amazing. But the few things that they're sacrificing, do you realize? And if you can't relate, you can just look at your mom. Most of you, your mom, and my mom is the same as well, right? Look at your mom. Whenever there's a best thing, they will give to the kids. They will not spend money in buying clothes for themselves, right? They also dare not ask money from dad, from the husband, for money to shop for anything, because they don't have income. They dedicate their 24 hours to the family. But there is a danger here. If you realize, being a housewife, some of them are very lucky because the husband is a high income earner. They feel very protected. But guess what? Pandemic already show that there's no more job security. And if there's only one breadwinner at home, what will happen to the housewife? Can the housewife quickly come out and do a work and get an income? Unfortunately not, because they're already disconnected from the work life. It's very hard for them to catch up. It's possible, but it takes a little bit more effort to catch up with the world, right? And a lot of housewives is also feel like, I need to dedicate my time for my kids. My time is for my kids. Guess what? Your kids is only with you for 18 years. 18 years. You have 80 years of your life. The kids is only taking 18 to 20 years out of your life. You have 60 years to live. What happened to the remaining years of your life? After 18 years old, your kids will say bye-bye to you. They have their own world. They don't want you to come to their world. Then you lost your purpose really after your kids become 18 years old. You kind of lost. A lot of ladies are like that, right? Not all, but a lot of ladies are like that. So I highly encourage to, if you have a housewife friend, have a deep talk about this. Ask them this few simple questions. What's your plan after your kids are 18 years old? What's your plan if your husband loses their job? Do you have a backup plan, right? Do you have, what's your purpose of life? Is your purpose of life just being a housewife and dedicate to your entire life for your whole family? Is that all? Is that how you're born with to do being a lady? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's fair for ladies, right? So I highly encourage nowadays, we always talk about gender equality, right? In Sweden, when I was working in Sweden, if I help a lady to push, let's say to lift up something, or I say, oh, this task, let me as a man do it, right? Wow, they will scold me. They say, what are you talking about here? We are gender equality. What you can do, I can do too. Don't say that I can't do. Right? You get offended. They will get offended. So in Europe country, but because of that, but yet still some ladies they make themselves they give a lot of love, but they forgot about their lifelong purpose, whole life. So we need to remind all our friends and the housewife, we respect them, we admire them, but we also care for them to help them to think from a different angle, just in case they forgot to think about all this. Do you agree? So now you know how to recruit all these homemakers as well, right? Next, what's next? Business owner. Who would like to become a business owner? Wow, I used to wanted to become a business owner. I always like to become a business owner because my favorite game in childhood is always the Monopoly game. Yeah, I like to play that game. Yeah, until today, I still feel it's one of the most brilliant games. So what is a business owner? Business owner, basically, they create a system that create job opportunity, income opportunity for a lot of people. The more people they hire, they leverage, the more people they can hire to leverage on them, the more income they generate for themselves, right? So you got people that work for you. Everyone knows what is people, a business owner. But think about it. Now, you think from two camps, one which is yourself, the other one is someone else, right? So think about it yourself. If you want to start a business, or let's say you're chatting with your friend want to start a business. As a business owner, at the starting phase, they needed a lot of capital. Most of them, they almost have to put in an entire savings of their life, plus taking out bank loans to start a business, a small business. Start a cafe itself will take at least ringgit 1 million to start with, right? And then next, you need to have the know-how on how to do it. You must have the knowledge on how to do it. Otherwise, you're literally doing something that is risky. Putting your money into a business is almost like a gambling if you don't know how to do it, right? So the knowledge, a lot of them, it's very important, right? But a lot of employees wanted to become a business owner. Unfortunately, they thought that, oh, I want to become a business owner so that I don't have to work a day in my life, so that I don't have to do the work anymore. But unfortunately, being a boss, you got to be the octopus. You got to do all the small little things, including sweeping floor, wiping, cleaning cups, doing teaching, everything that you got to handle. You have everything in the world that you are the biggest coolie. You're the biggest worker among your staff. You are there. If you are a good boss, you are there to serve your staff. That is a good business owner. But what happened to this group of people as a business owner? What they fear of is that they fear of their money gone. They fear of they are not catching up enough. They fear of they have too much work to do. They fear of, if I were to teach someone to do something that I know, they turn out to become my competitor. If you own a hair salon, right? You know how to cut a hair. You teach someone to cut a hair. They open in the same street as you. They become a competition. You can't duplicate. The more you teach, the more you lose. So they become very, closed up in a way. But deep down inside them, there are still a lot of them. They want to have a noble contributions to the world. They want to make impact to the world. They want to build community to change people's life. A lot of business owners, they don't have this piece. The other day we discussed in our meeting, we have a couple of business owners in our team, right? And they are very, very experienced business owner. In fact, we have attracted quite a lot of business owners in our team as well, right? Why? This is a small little quick tips to share with you. A lot of you know about TWC, the Fit Club that we have, yeah, and we actually attracted a lot of people as a business owner from there. Why? Because they walk into the club, they saw the community, they saw the activities. Don't worry, HooiLi and Ryan, it's okay. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay. So what they see as a business owner is like, wow, what is this business about? Why is it such a low startup cost? I presume it's kind of low startup cost when I look at the renovation, right? And can create 100 people at one go. Attracted 100 people one go, and everyone is so excited. They are bringing their friends, they're bringing their family to come join the workout. They come to your nutrition club, and then everyone is like sharing positively about their change in life. How do you do this? Then the business owner come and talk to HooiLi and Ryan and say, how do I be part of this team? How do I do this business? Tell me more. I want to do this business. Then HooiLi and Ryan ask them, why do you want to do this business? You're already a business owner and all those. You're so busy. You have so many business and your business is so successful. No, I think this is great because it can help people it means a good cause for people. And this is a very simple business, a very simple setup, yet can attract so many people. I think the capital is low, but the potential of growth is so high. It's a good business case for me. I'm interested. See, how business owners see things are very different. They may not really look at the money itself. Of course, they are looking at money somehow. But once the first thing they saw is this, eventually they realize at Herbalife, wow, the more people that I teach them on how to do, they are not my competition. They complement to my team. And I might need to learn on how to do a lot of things, but eventually everyone will know how to do this simple task by themselves. And the knowledge is open up for everyone to learn. That's why they see the business opportunity in Herbalife is so great. And we attracted a lot of good quality business owner. So HooiLi, Ryan, do you want to share your TWC portion?
Ryan, you want to do the honor?
We stand proud.
Very proud. Huh? There are some joke. Huh?
Which portion?
Up to you. I mean, anything that you want to add on to this part.
The beauty part of this is possible for anybody. Okay, imagine two young people with no experience, nothing, with pretty low capital cost, you can set up a business that give you many folds. Yeah. And I can't remember exact when, but Jason calculated before. I think in a short few months, we generated back the capital, correct, from the revenue. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. Very good answer, HooiLi. There are a lot of jokes behind this. Those that qualify to join our future active voting training. Next time you need to qualify to join our future active voting training, there are a lot of inside jokes and story that you miss out in today's training, which we can't share with you. You have to qualify to join that and to hear the jokes. All right, good. Now, what else in business? As a business owner, you look at their own cycle, right? Every business has their own cycle, right? Every business has a cycle. They start up, they go into a very exciting, rapid growth phase, then they come to maturity, right? For those of you, you know about this, I talk about the Hong Kong style cafe in Malaysia about 10, 15 years ago was really popular. Then there was a phase about this, what do you call that? Donut, then cheese tart, the very famous cheese tart in KL. It got very excited, rapid growth, maturity. And then now it's like die of nobody queue to buy the cheese tart anymore. Why in declining phase? Because it is already matured, the business. It's already like saturated. The hype is over. So the business decline, right? And eventually go to death. But if the business owner is smart enough to make some changes, it probably will create another new cycle again and rebirth, right? So it's very normal. A business owner, when they look at a business, they will not expect to have a lifelong business. They will know what is the lifespan for each business. When they open up a restaurant, they already know what is my exit clause, what is my exit plan, that how do I sell out my business, how many years down the road I need to sell out my business so that they can cash out, right? But if you look at Herbalife, Herbalife is an evergreen business. Anyone disagree with me if I say that nowadays people are getting more health conscious and there are more and more people need to get healthier? Anyone disagree? No, right? No one will disagree with this. Herbalife, there are more and more people getting older. There are more and more people needing more healthy nutrition, right? So health industry is actually evergreen, is ever growing according to the populations and the severity of the pandemic and also viruses that's around the world right now, right? But very fortunately, Herbalife, we are very proud to say that in year 2020, in the worst year ever in the history, 2020 and 2021, Herbalife made a record-breaking sale. Can you imagine that? This could be some bullet points for you to, bonus points for you to have a table talk with your friends. Yeah. Do you know that Herbalife actually in the worst time ever, we have the highest growth in the history of 41 years, highest ever sale, and year on year, the Q3, Q4 was record-breaking. And we have 8.93 billion of sales, retail sales, right? And this is unheard of. Why? Because more people are getting healthier and there are a lot more people also needing to have extra income. That's why Herbalife is actually booming like crazy. Okay, so these are some points that you can actually highlight to them. So Herbalife is always in the evergreen business. So this is a key point. We don't have to say much. Everyone knows health is a good industry, right? But also, I want to point out another point here. Do you realize that around you nowadays, a lot of your friends are started to show up online and they are doing some kind of MLM business? Do you realize that? And do you realize a lot of people are doing a lot of funny businesses that's selling some products in online social media? Yeah, and most of them, a lot of them are actually doing MLM because a lot of them, there are a lot of new pop-up of new MLM companies in the past 1 year in the world, right? That is unheard of. And one of my friends recently chatted with me and said that, hey bro, I'm actually looking into another MLM to start an MLM business. I said, wow, congratulations, finally you are breaking through. And then what is this company about? Then he mentioned the name. So I never heard about this name. I say, well, I think it's very exciting because it's a new company. It's a new startup. We are the first batch of people. We are coming in as a new, brand new people. So we have a higher growth. Have you ever heard about this? Yeah, they call it first mover advantage, right? When these companies, they promote themselves as a first mover advantage, we are new, we are a startup, you have a lot of growth potential, there's not many people on this, it's the time for you to join right now, don't miss the boat, right? So when someone say that, it's because their company, that's the only thing that they can promote. Can you imagine I say that in Herbalife? Herbalife never say this in our business meeting. Why? Because it's 41 years. If someone is telling me that this is the only criteria for you to justify whether this MLM company can join or not, then Herbalife fail already. Herbalife can close shop already. After 41 years, already die until don't know where already, right? But do you know in Herbalife, you have a potential to earn more income than your upline. You can earn more income than upline because the reward system is very fair. It doesn't matter you join in the first year or the last year of the Herbalife journey. You join in the first year versus the 40th year of Herbalife, you still have an equal chance to make as much of money as compared to your upline. Yeah, because it's very fair payout system. So for those that is always the first one to come in, can you imagine also how many times I can pitch about this story? Every time I want to recruit someone, I want to get someone in, hey, you want to join me or not? We are first batch, we are first batch, we are first batch. How many times you can tell this story? It doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. So these are the small little things that a lot of commonly you face all these challenges in the marketplace. Investor. Who over here is actually investor? Yeah. If you are investor type I, if you're investor I started in 21 years old. I was an employee. I was eyeing to be an investor. But so I actually did a lot of study and I become a unit trust agent for the sake of learning two things. One, which is I want to learn sales skill because I know that if I want to be an employee, I want to earn the most income, I need to be a salesperson in the company. Salesperson always get highest paid. And then you can get higher income based on your effort on selling because of commission. So I understood that when I'm in my early 20s. So I worked my way from engineer to become a salesperson, business development person, and I attended different courses about investment, right? Then eventually, when I was here, I realized that salesperson good, but the thing is, the international border, the currency exchange I mentioned, is still Malaysian ringgit is very weak, right? But then when I go overseas, right, my peers in other countries, they earn a lot more if I were to convert. So I moved myself to become an expat. So I become an expat, so I earn equally high or higher than them because I'm an expat, tax-free. Then, but from here, I want to be investor. How much money do I have to invest? If my saving is only 10,000 ringgit, I can only invest 10,000 at most. My saving is 5,000 ringgit, I can only invest 5,000 the most. That's all I have. But when people as an investor, what are the things they look at? These are the few keywords they can write down. As an investor, they look at what is your capital. What is your return on investment? What is your yield, which is a return investment, right? And what kind of risk you're taking? And what kind of investment vehicle you're taking? And they're looking at, can this investment, how do I do a compounding effect in my investment strategy? And how can I leverage? These are the key words that they use, the language they use in the asset investor. They look at the portfolio, right? So investor, of course, is making money to make money. But if you have very little money, you make very little return because the investment we talk about here typically are ranging from 5% return per annum to 30% per annum, depending on what kind of risk profile you're taking, right? So we have two types of example here. When an investor look at this, they will look at, do I want to have a capital gains, or do I rather want to have a strategy that's based on cash flow? What does it mean? Capital gains means that, for example, I buy a house at 100,000, X number down, X years later, the house increased to become 140,000. I make the differences. That is called capital gain. Same goes to share price. I buy in at 20, I sell out at 30 ringgit, $30, I make $10 profit. That is called capital gain, the change of value. But what is cash flow? Or some they call it dividends, right? In real estate and properties, they call it a rental, monthly cash flow that's coming in, rental payment. And for some of them in stock market, what they talk about is dividends. But what sort of percentage are we looking about here in cash flow? This, if it's a 4% return investment, it could consider pretty good return investment or rental yield for a property already. But of course, some people that can, when you go in and to evaluate in the first few years, 4% is considered a very good investment already, right? But of course, the longer you keep the property, the higher return investment will be. Same goes to stocks. So, but the difference in between real estate and stock investment, if you're talking to someone that is investor, the difference, the pain point here is, if I have 100,000, I can only invest 100,000 here. But in real estate, if I have 100,000, I can borrow banks' money, I can leverage on banks' money to invest in something that is greater value, right? However, both of them require you to have your active income first. Your active income. Okay, now, Ben touched upon this a couple of weeks ago. I really like this. Thank you so much, Ben. What do you think about rental income? I think common Malaysian, a lot of us actually invest in property, right? When you look into a property investment, you want to have a rental income, you need to first evaluate that how much down payment I have. What is the market value of the property? Can I, in my age right now, can I still take 35 years of loan? Can I find tenant easily? How much is the maintenance? What is the rent collection versus the installment I need to pay to the bank? So these are the things that as an investor, they're looking at. But unfortunately, they all need to look into the capital that they have in order to put in, right? So first of all, if I want to buy a 500,000 worth of house, I need to put at least, if it's your first house, you need to put 50,000 as a down payment. So you must have 50,000 in your bank in order to invest in the first property for rental, right? Then only you start to hope for a rental collections to make positive cash flow. All right. Now, let's do the math. Ben talked about this. Imagine one house after you pay off, after X number of years you invest already, right? You're talking to investor. This is a very typical investor, what they're looking at. This house give to you a rental of 800 ringgit net profit after minusing off your installment. Maybe this is maybe 10 years after you have already invested in property, only you can get the positive cash flow of maybe 800 ringgit. Let's take that as an example, right? So imagine every single house that you have generate 800 ringgit for you. Good or good? Who think is good? Type good. Good, huh? Good. Now, I want you to imagine this. Each and every house here that you have, every one of them would generate 800 ringgit for you. Wow, how much passive income you have? A lot, right? That probably you have like 80,000 or more. I don't know how many houses here. But I want you to understand this again. This is a very good example. Every single house, think of it, they are your active supervisor in your Herbalife business. You teach them on what you do. You're good at what you do. You teach them what you do. They do the same like what you do. They build, they become your active supervisors. Each of them do at least 2,500 volume point. And all of them generating 800 ringgit positive cash flow to you. So if you are an investor, you look at this, do you think this is a good investment? And this investment doesn't allow you to put down 50,000 into each and every household. You don't have to buy the 50,000. Yeah, you have something. Yeah. Yeah. So each and every house, you don't have to pay. All you need to do is be, if I'm talking to an investor right now, hey, John, if I tell you, you like to invest in property, right? That's great. That's great. If I tell you if there's a way that you can invest in just like your properties that you collected, each and every one of them give you positive cash flow, but you don't have to pay out a startup capital of down payment of 50,000. Would you be interested? Yeah, of course. Why not? Because then each and every one is 100% return on investment or thousands of percent return investment. Of course, great. So all I need from you is, I want you to seriously take this product seriously. I want you to experience just like any other customers. Because all I want you to do is, I don't need your money to invest in business. I need your passion, I need your belief, and I need your experience and your network. You just have to spend your time in experiencing just like customer, help yourself to get healthier and experience the community. If you like the concept, we can talk again. If you see what I see, we can talk again. Why? Because as an investor, when they look at the business, just like someone walking to TWC, wow, I can create so many properties in the club, just like my houses. Each and every supervisors in the club are my properties. I want to do this. And it's zero startup capital. Why not? Yeah. Okay, get it so far? Now, let me ask you, you have seen 4 quadrants. Where is Herbalife? Where is Herbalife? Which quadrant is Herbalife? Herbalife is I, S, B to I. Right. Herbalife, to be honest, is actually S and B and can be an I also, not an E. Yeah, can be S and B. Why? Anyone is below active world team, we're not member to world team, you are working on your active income, because self-employed are working on your active income, right? As soon as you become active world team, you start to build a small team and you become a tech team. You start to build your passive income. That's where you start to become a business owner, right? But of course, along the journey, you start to make a good income, and you're having a far-sighted, and you start to invest in other investment vehicles as well. And you're multiplying your team, and you are actually investing in your long-term business for yourself, right? Are you excited about this? Yeah? Yeah, I'm super excited when I understand the whole thing about this. Yeah, it's like, wow, I don't know where I can find. But what I want to share with you is, next is what's happening to the world economy right now. We usually don't like to watch news. We don't like to read newspaper for many, many years. But until lately, I need to read a little bit on news, understand what's the movement right now, because the world is changing. There are a lot of uncertainty right now. But I look at it from a macro point of view. So just to share with you a couple of things here. Have you heard about that? Yeah, this is one of the local news in Malaysia, right? Some malls that's open. Association plead government to let malls open in July, or else 50% of them will close for good. I believe this is KLCC photo lah, or pavilion, I can't recognize. Yeah. So if you understand from this point of view, right? If you understand from this point of view, if I'm the investor, I invested in property here, let's say Mid-Valley. I don't know how many millions I've invested for one unit there, for example, right? And then I rented out to a shop. that the monthly rental is 70,000 ringgit. And that shop closed down, the business owner cannot operate. They can't afford to pay rental anymore. Then they close down, and the employee will get fired because they don't have business anymore. Their supplier that provide the service also lose their job, right? At the end, from the surface, it looks like the employee, the self-employed business owner is affected. But in actual fact, the investor is also heavily affected by this, right? So, oh yeah, one more point that I want to share with you about this ESBI. Just now, remember I talked about Malaysia ringgit is very weak, and as compared to Australian dollar, for example, that example, right? That actually turned out to be something that is an opportunity for Malaysia. Why? Because of the wages, the salary in Malaysia is so low, anybody will be interested to make extra income, and it's easier for us to do recruitment in Malaysia, right? And so that's why a lot of people are looking for opportunity right now. This is the best time. As for Singapore, yes, Singapore opportunity is what? Singapore, because of a high income earners, are so many of them, right? They can afford the program easily. So in closing retail and all those is easier. But when you find the right person to do the business, they will go all out with you in doing the business. So each and every country have their own sentiments, okay? So this is the next news, big news. That's US government is printing trillions and trillions of dollars of money, printing money like crazy. What it will affect the world right now is that they're looking at, are we having a hyperinflation, right? Have you heard about the word inflation? It's normal for every country to have an inflation year on year, every year, right? But 1000% is crazy because a typical inflation is talking about 2% to 4% for every country, right? Nasi lemak 10 years ago could only cost you probably 2 ringgit 50 cents, but now it's 6 ringgit 50 cents. That has gone like maybe 150% increase really over 10 years, right? That is inflation, right? This news is actually just yesterday. America is warned to brace for up to 4 years of rising inflation. Rising inflation. What has it got to do with us in Malaysia or Asia, in US? Why? Because US dollar is the reserve currency for world trade. A lot of countries are using US dollar as a trade currency. But thankfully, Malaysia are half-half. Malaysia are using half US, half China, right? So, but it's somehow this news will still affect global economy in a way. What inflation means to you, right, means the money value getting smaller and smaller. This is Venezuela a couple of years back. They have actually going through a hyperinflation of don't know how many 100,000s of percent of inflation. This stack of cash is needed to buy this roll of toilet paper. This is an actual case. Can you imagine this paper is actually worthless compared to the toilet paper? Yeah, and this is not the reason why pandemic everyone go and buy a lot of toilet paper. It's not because of that reason. But this is because of the money value has actually dropped so much. This is in the world, there are already a handful of countries already facing this because of the mismanaged and they're printing a lot of money. But whether it will affect Malaysia or not, I don't think it will to that extent. Right? I'm not an economist, but I don't think Malaysia will be so bad. But somehow there will be some effect that will create to us, right? When inflation hits, what will happen to us, to your money, right? Petrol price will increase. Everything will increase. The food that you buy will increase. The rice that you buy will increase. The sand, the bricks that you buy will increase. Electricity bill will increase. Unfortunately, our salary don't increase. If you're working 9 to 5, it will crawl like a turtle, right? It's moving stagnant, basically. That is reality. That is what inflation is doing. Now, I want just to let you understand about this. For example, 4% inflation. If this year compared to last year, your income, or let's say you're working 9 to 5, your job, company didn't give you any increment. And what we are projecting this year, even though government says it's 4% inflation, typically is about 7 to 8% real inflation, right? If your income doesn't increase, it means that your income this year has been discounted by 8% in purchasing power or in money value. So if you don't increase your income, means that you're shrinking in your money, in your bank, or in your purchasing power. Get it so far? So that is what is the impact of inflation, right? But of course, in this Chinese word, I really like this 危机. 危机 stands for danger. 危 danger. 机 is opportunity. In every crisis, there is always an opportunity. It depends on how you look at it. And this is something that I think very fortunately, all of us in Wellness Experts or in Herbalife, we know about this. There's a great opportunity out there right now. But there are a lot of our friends out there still don't know about this. You can look at it as a crisis, then you'll be very sad if you don't do anything. Someone may get hurt in this process in the next few years, badly, if you don't do something. But if you decide to do something, this can turn into a very good opportunity for you. So how do you hedge against inflation? Two directions. You can do both, right? First is, this is the best time to invest. And what is the best thing to invest in? You got to invest in your knowledge, because your knowledge is your asset. Your asset, this knowledge will stay with you for life, that will generate income for you. You need to invest in your productivity. Spend your time in the right thing that help you to grow. And invest in assets. When I say about assets, means that something that bring money into your pocket, right? Especially assets that is related to commodities, like raw materials, right? Those are the good assets to invest in. But again, of course, you want to invest, you need to have a pile of cash ready, and you must be ready to take the risk, and you must have the knowledge to invest. But in case you don't have the knowledge to invest in all this, what do? Invest in the knowledge in how to help you to 10x your business. If you ask yourself or ask your friend, if you know recession is coming, hyperinflation may be coming, right? If you don't do anything about it, your income is going to reduce. What is the way that you're going to hedge inflation? The easiest way to answer is to create more income. I want to 10-fold my income. I want to multiply by 2 times, 3 times, 4 times your income. And what are the income streams that I want to create for myself? I must ask myself, do you have a way to create an income that can leverage on someone's time, someone's effort, or someone's money? Or you can have a business opportunity can actually have general recurring business, recurring income? Or does this business or things that you do can be multiplied? And this is how you evaluate the business. This is how you help your prospect to evaluate the business that we are in right now. You get a point? So when you have this kind of quality discussion, a deep discussion with your friends and prospect, you very high chance that you will be able to attract them to see what you see. And of course, next step is to invite them into the HOM, which is coming up this Sunday, right? So who is going to invite most people to our coming concept overview on Sunday, 3:30 p.m.? Yeah. All right. So I hope you all learned a little bit about what are the key things that I talk about in terms of the business aspect, economy aspect, and current situation aspect. That these are the small little perspectives that help you to do a recruitment. But of course, upcoming, I would like to invite our millionaire team, HooiLi, a beautiful millionaire team, to share with you on how to manage your finances. All right, let's welcome HooiLi. Yay!
Thank you, Jason. What an amazing session. Ryan, can I have about 20 to 30 minutes?
And everyone wants to save money, learn how to manage their money. So 20 minutes is more than very good.
Okay. Great. So I will speed up a little bit, okay? And just to recap a bit of what Jason has shared, how many of you have learned a great lesson? If you learned something really amazing, you feel your pocket is now full, you can type 1 in the chat, okay? And then looking at the example just now, I could relate because I used to spend 3 hours to and fro when there's jam. 3 hours I waste on the road a day. And then that was one of the main reasons why I decided to move. But then think again, if I didn't have the flexibility or the ability to move, then I would basically be stuck in the rat race and in the same situation. Okay, so Jason has covered the foundation, and I hope you guys understand more about where are you right now and then where are you heading to. And my short session is going to cover a little bit of mindset, a little bit of concept, a little bit of technicality, and then also a couple of tools to help you guys kickstart a very, very baby step. But just a little bit of backstory, because I think a lot of new friends are here. I was in a pretty bad financial situation. It wasn't too long ago. It was in 2017, where I had no savings, nothing left, struggling to live day by day, and then basically money coming in and then immediately find its way out, right? But today is not about my story. Some of you know my story, but what I want to share is the few things that I did to help me turn it around in about, started to turn around in the 2 years time and until now. Okay, so are you guys ready? If you're ready, type excited in the chat. Yay. All right. So if you can see my screen, just nod your head. What I want to share with everybody is on how do you actually manage your finance, especially in relation with Herbalife business. Before I proceed, may I know how many of you here is already doing financial management in any sorts? Yes. Yes. Okay, great. If you not yet, or you don't know what is it, no problem. That's why you're here today. Okay. And financial management, what we are trying to cover today, actually, it's really a very, very deep and very wide topic that we can't be able to cover in 2 hours. And really just scratching by and letting you guys understand the concept. Okay. But how many of you here, since young or since you're in a job, and your biggest question for working hard is always, how do I make more money? Why is it always not enough? Or even the biggest question, where did my money go? Are you guys like that? How to make more money? Where did my money go? How come I work so hard, but I don't see things left after so many years? Okay, I think all of you could relate. I was exactly like that as well. Okay, so first of all is that before we want to talk about growing more money, make more money, financial wealth or financial freedom, the first thing that you have to do is actually understand the importance of financial literacy first. What is financial literacy? What Jason covered with you is also part of it. If you see this chart here, you want to make more money, you hope that it grows. But I saw this video that day and then I find it's very, very meaningful. Does it mean that by working hard, your money will grow? It will to some extent. Depends where you're working, right? Millions and millions of people work so hard, like Jason said, 10 hours, 12 hours in a job. But how come they do not see the money grow? So it's not about working hard. It's whether or not you understand your kaching, where to spend, how to spend, or what to spend on. Okay, spend wisely. And to kickstart, this is the homework for you guys. Really, these 2 books you have to read if you want to make a change in your life. You can't try to make a change or suddenly from E become S, become B, become I without understanding this literacy. Basically, it helps you to, how do I say? It helps you to refine or maybe refresh or restart your money blueprint, your attitude towards money, your mindset towards money. It's very, very important. And then a lot of times, different perspective. And then a lot of times, we could be the one that's stopping ourselves from making more money because we think that, that world is never meant for me. This is not what I could do. This is for people who's already rich, and rich people is like that, like that, like that. And you may not realize that you develop some kind of blueprint, be it negative or positive, towards money, this word. And this is, like Jason says, so sensitive, this topic. Okay, but I personally love these two books because they help me to kickstart and then broaden my view, and then help me to appreciate what I do right now even more, which is Herbalife business and multi-level marketing. Because both of these books, they mention about MLM, network marketing, and the benefits of it. Okay, and yeah, so make sure you go and buy this book. If you don't like to read book, also tell yourself, if you want to make a change, just read these two books. Okay, you can take a screenshot. Yeah, it's great. I love that Secret of the Millionaire Mind. And so over here, a lot of people work hard to own things. I admit I was like that before I understand all these things. My goals, my list was literally items and materials to own things, right? But the truth is, how we should really spend on, like, even it's not wrong to want to own things or buy luxuries, but how you buy is very, very important. Let's say today you earn 20,000 and then you go and spend it on a bag. Then the next month it's empty, or you traded so many hours of work in that month for one bag that doesn't bring you anything but maybe some photos or some self-esteem maybe, okay? But in fact, what people should really do is that, yes, you earn the income first, but invest or spend it on assets, generate cash flow, let it make the money for you. Then only you use the money to buy the goods. Okay, and I think over here we have a lot of young people, and if you are just starting out to want to invest, or you have a goal, right? Definitely, I'm not like a financial advisor here. It's just from experience and what I learned. If you're wondering whether should you buy a car, your dream car, or whether should you invest in a real estate for investment, number one is always the investment rather than an expensive car. Okay, only if you have all those basics already, you're generating cash flows, you're building blah blah, you have extra money like Ben 10, then only you go and buy that yellow color car. Okay, because yes, like Sally mentioned, cars are depreciating, it's liability. Okay, and how many of you have seen this before? 6 Jars Money Management. So this was by T. Harv Eker. Yeah, if you're intern call, you all should see before. If you already have some sorts of habits or ways for you to keep track of your money or does money management, that's fine, whatever's working for you. But I've been doing this for the past few years, and then I wouldn't say just by doing this you grow a lot of money or you will change your life, but it does help you to put things into the right perspective and then spend money on the right place. Okay, and if you haven't started any sorts of money management, besides just receiving salary, receiving income, spend, wait for the next month, then you should seriously start to look into this, because this is very friendly and easy for people, for anybody, for new person also. Okay, and the main mindset behind this money management is that I don't want you guys to think that I also don't have a lot of money. What is there to manage? This is about helping you develop the habit of spending wisely, and then also preparing you for your future, for rainy days, for whatever. Okay, it's about the habits. So if you have just 100 ringgit left today, you can start doing this. Okay, when I attended the course, they say if you have 10 ringgit, you also can start doing this. Okay, so by looking at this graphic, actually is pretty straightforward. You can see how you should be splitting your money. But I'm going to explain to you guys why. First of all, is that this is the recommended percentage, but you have the flexibility to adjust. For example, my financial freedom would be 20%. I wanted more than just 10%. Or my necessities, I change it to 50% instead of 55%. Okay, you can play around. So Okay, I give you some examples what all these jars mean, yeah? Necessities. Can you guys type it out in the chat? What falls under necessities? Your expenses that you have to spend on. It could be food, phone bill, herbal, yes, rent, what else? Dating, a lot, yeah? You think of it, your water bill, your electricity bill, 55%, okay? And financial freedom. So this second jar is your golden goose. No matter what, you cannot touch. No matter what. And it's not even for your savings. It's not for you to save for next time you want to get married or next time you want to travel. It's not for this purpose. So financial freedom, every month or whatever income you receive, 10% should come to this jar so that you have the funds to invest or to contribute to your financial freedom. There's many, many ways. Couple of examples, maybe trading stocks, investing in something, the funds, okay, that helps you generate more income. All right, remember, no matter what, cannot touch. If your friends need money urgently, can you touch this financial freedom jar? Or even if it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, no, yes, correct, no. Okay, and the third one, long-term saving and spending. This is very, very interesting. I think a lot of people can relate. So what is this for? Let's say you need to buy a PS5. You want to travel. Don't talk about COVID lah. You want to buy that Apple product. Okay, if your jar, this jar, LTSS jar, the amount you accumulated is not enough for you to buy an AirPod, you shouldn't be buying that AirPod. Of course, if you want, it's your choice, right? But if you want to make a difference to start to grow your financial, then not AirPod, Apple, the AirPod. Okay, iPhone then, okay? Different example. AirPods, iPhone, whatever, something that you want to buy. Okay, and like an example I gave earlier, if your bank account, total bank account, okay, whatever you have like 50,000. Should you spend 20,000 to buy a Chanel bag? You can afford. Actually, you can afford. But no, why? Yes, because this is what happened to most of the people. You have that money, you can afford that item, doesn't mean that you should buy it. So these jars, this concept give you a very clear clarity on what to buy and what not to buy. Okay, if that is your goal, save it in this jar until you earn that Chanel bag. Okay, and the next one, education. 10%, be it is your book, courses, seminar. Why? Because it's very important to keep investing in yourself. If you stop learning, you stop growing, and you stop growing, then you die, right? Not die, but yeah. So this, like, also some of you would love, like really love to give a hand to Grace, right? She always loved to attend classes, webinars, and courses. But one day I also told her, so this should be your jar. If this jar haven't afford that cost, then not yet. Why? Because once you accidentally spend all these things, then you realize yourself always go back to zero and you wonder, where's my money? Where's my money? Okay. And the next one, play. I think I put 5%. It's up to you. Why is also important to play? If today you feel that I don't really have money, I'm so tired, I can't spend much, and you want me to spend on play, yes, 10%. Okay, let's say you however X amount money you earn, 10% go to play. Anybody knows why? Anyone knows why? Yes, must be spent every month, and you cannot carry on or try not to spend it, even if you feel that you shouldn't spend it. Socialize, pretty close. But the real reason is that this jar allows you to do things you always wanted to do But let's say you really love some fancy fine dining, or dining in the sky, or go for a really luxurious massage and all that, okay? But you earn it. It's 10%, because when you reward yourself, you reward your soul will want more. And that is when you start to work even harder to earn more. If you always work so hard, you didn't even get to enjoy little things, and then you start to wonder, what is the point of all this? Okay, correct. After you spend, you have more motivation. Like, I'm willing to spend on my family. But sometimes they be like, ayo, don't la, like that. Then I told my father, if you don't let me spend, I got no motivation to earn more money. That's literally what I told him. Yeah. Okay. And then 5% is gift. This is also very important. What falls under gift? Whether someone needs your help to lend some money, although like in our culture, we always educate no product money lending. Yeah. And donations. Yes, donations. Or let's say sometimes something happened, you need to fork out a little bit of fee, or maybe it's yeah, okay, like when someone passed, you have to give. Okay, so 5%. And this is also very important, non-negotiable, all these jars. Okay, cannot, hey, this jar pinjam here, I like a bit this month, you transfer me. No, separate jars. Okay, let's say your friend need help of 5,000 ringgit, and then your gift jar only has 500. Even though your bank account you have 20,000, should you give the 5,000? No. And now in class very easy to say no, but when actually happens, you're like, oh, but it's my friend, like, oh. So you have to be very clear why you're doing all this. 500, that's what I can give you. That's what I can lend. 500, I don't have more. Okay, because if you compromise your own jars, then you will never be able to break through that chain. Yeah, so far so good. How many of you seen this for the very first time? Or maybe I can touch a little bit more on this as well. What about couples? Okay, I'm not saying this is the best way, but I think it's a pretty good way, and it's a suggestion. If you have a couple nowadays, it's no longer like men have to earn all the money or ladies have to whatever, right? We have our own business, and then we are also contributing together. Yeah, so what I suggest is, if you're wondering how, or you're going to step into a married life, have your own separate jars. Okay, but also contribute into a jar equally. Let's say each person 2005, put in that 5,000. So whatever that has to do with the both of you or the household, it comes from that 5,000. Okay, it's not because you earn more or the person earn more, then put in more. Of course, this is totally up to the couples lah, but this is example. My money is my money, his money is my money. No lah. All right, good. So moving on. Actually, it's towards the end already. Just want to share some tools with you guys so you can start to keep track, okay? Because you can't measure what you don't track. And if you can't measure, you are not aware. And if you are not aware, then you can't make changes. Okay? Whatever questions that you're still having today was because of your past years of habits have been like that. So if you keep doing the same thing and then you wonder how to make more money and then suddenly want to make a change, then it's different. Okay? First of all, I will share with you guys this P&L sheet, and thanks to our Excel master, Coach Jason, very good in Excel, and he developed this profit and loss sheet for Herbalife business purposes. How many of you don't have this sheet yet? maybe send it out into the group. And if you want to open it up, follow along, download now, it's okay. I'm going to input some dummy data to show you guys. How come wrong file? Ryan, maybe you can send to the coaches group. Give me a while. I already opened, but where is it? Okay, same thing. This P&L sheet, you should also develop the habit of using this, be it or not you have 20 customers or if you have 1 customer. Cannot load one? Okay, can. Cool. Okay, can you guys see the P&L sheet? Okay, so there is a, wait, why is this here? There is many sheet over here. Okay, first one is you can see the, okay, the toolbox in Zoom is very jolting. The gauges and events list. And then this one also allows you to track your vacation and qualification. But today we're going to jump into how do you keep track of your business. Okay, how many of you is seeing this form for the very first time? Can you type in the chat? Okay, no problem. All right. So this sheet is really genius, yeah. Say for example, the date today, and then the person's name is Mary. Mary got started on a standard 1-month program. All you need to do is just to key in the stock number, to shake 1L1T, and then you have another customer called Barry who started on just 1 shake, and then you have a customer named Ryan and uncle who need like heart health, NW, and omega-3, something like that. Okay, so over here immediately you don't need to calculate, oh yes, I can really remember. Oh, maybe they want fiber. What's fiber number? 28464. Okay, the quantity, total VP, the cost price, and then also the unit price. So if you are not yet 50%, what happens if you are a senior consultant? You type 35, ta-da, it's auto. Okay, so let's say now it's 50%. And then what about you have customer who restock, like Grace student want restock a small tea, and then Hanson also restock like 1 shake, whatever. Okay, example. So right down over here, you can immediately see your profit already is 1,000. So even though you receive a transaction of 2,200, but that is not your profit. That is your total sales. You haven't deducted the cost. Okay, so it's very important to know your profit so that you know your monthly income. And the interesting thing is sometimes I randomly ask a person how much you earned last month. They do not know. So here's the thing. If you do not know how much you're even earning, how to run a business, and then how to tell people your story, you want to recruit people and then you don't know how long it takes to earn that first 1,000 ringgit, right? So far so good, very clear. I'm the worst in Excel, but if I can do this, you all can do this. So what happens is that a most important sheet is here, yearly summary. Okay, so I key in July, yeah. So immediately you see that it is automatically reflected in July column. Your total sales, your profit, and a cost. Here, this row is your profit. Like, are you wowed yet? How come you're so smart, Jason? All right, example over here. Like we used to run nutrition club, right? Let's say that month my sales was 1,008. Just put in. If it's not applicable, you just put it aside. And wholesale and royalties, let's say example 15,000. Production bonus, let's say 8,000. Okay, so is this your actual profit? No, because your actual profit will be reflected here. Why? Because your business expenses have yet to key in. All right. So for those of you who are an operator or you used to run nutrition club, your expenses in the club is also your business expenses. Let's say you are paying a rental of 500 ringgit, and then when you run a club, you need to put in your stocks, right? Let's say it costs you 600 ringgit to buy the stocks. And then the food card, I will skip for today first, so you guys don't get confused. And this is your retail cost, because when you retail, you need stocks to retail, right? Be it you have existing inventory first, or you are those who really cannot have inventory, so you work hard to have a retail customer, then only you place order. That's also your cost. Okay, so if this one, you have to be very clear, because when you look at your credit card bills or your expenses sheet, and you sometimes wonder, oh my God, I am spending so much on Herbalife. Why I spend so much on Herbalife, like 1,000 ringgit. But are you aware that this 1,000 ringgit is not spent for fun? It is your cost, and it brings you business. It brings you more business. Okay, just that you also want to know your net profit. That's why you want to take note of your costs. And promotion, nowadays company do a lot of promotion that if your customers qualify, you don't have to pay a thing, the company will reward them. So good, right? But if, let's say, in some scenarios where you would love to buy some small gift for your customer, or you would love to reward them for good results, you can shaker cup, example, 5 shaker cup, 50 ringgit. Okay, events, extravaganza, MDW, all this. Yeah, so now it's very straightforward. Let's say just the event ticket. But what happened? We used to travel, right? Fly and accommodation. So all those are also business expenses. Okay, and then one of the big topic that we didn't manage to touch today is about tax. Yeah, so if you're a business, you run business, you manage your tax, you also manage your expenses. So this actually can be considered as your business expenses. Okay, and biz work per month, $7.95 US dollars, so maybe it's about 31, 32 ringgit, example. So there you go. Your profit for July, congratulations, is 24,000. Okay, and then over here, if you have the full year, then you can have a big summary as well. So there's even a chart to show you your income growth. Is it like that, like that, like that over the year, or like that, like that, like that? Okay, so will you guys start to use this sheet? Yes,
Okay, really, just one point to add on.
Yeah.
Question to everyone. When you buy product for your own consumption, shall it be recorded as your business expense or your personal expense? Who think is business, type B? Who think is personal, type P?
Blood pressure, BP, BP, BP.
Very good. Most of you are P. That's right. Of course, before you started to do the business, you already want to get healthier, right? So you are actually using this as a personal. So this is not recorded inside this Excel sheet as your personal consumption, because that is treated as your own personal expenses. So when you get a credit card bill, you don't want to get shocked that, hey, why am I spending so much? Because of this, and that. So you have to be very clear to segregate business versus personal. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. So the P&L sheet is to keep track of your business expenses, fully Herbalife stuff, okay? At the same time, you also have to keep track of your own expenses. There's tons of apps, but I personally have been using this piggy, little red piggy. It's called Money Manager in the app. I find that it's very user-friendly and easy to see. There's another one, it's called Wally, if I'm not mistaken, WALLY, okay? And like I asked just now, how many of you sometimes you look back in your statement or your transaction history, you look at a certain numbers and then you scratch your head for half a day. Where did I spend that on? What is that for? How many of you could relate to that? And then you start to think, is it someone hacked into my account or like some center simply charge my card, all that? Yeah, and then you spend so much energy and time to do this. So to what extent you track? For me, I track to dollar and cent. If I today park in Cheetah Mall for 1 ringgit, I track it. I track that 1 ringgit. And then back many years ago, we were in this Zero to Hero event, and I learned from one president team, I heard he mentioned, but he was using like a little 555 notebook that he's tracking to dollar and cents. Then I'm like, I need to tell you, at first, it's going to be a little bit frustrating because when you remember, you track. When you don't remember, you'll be like, I forgot, okay? But now it's been 3 years, 3 to 4 years, it's become a habit that is so natural already, but just get started anyway, okay? And then now I'm gonna share screen from my phone instead to show you guys how does it look like, okay? But how many of you are already doing something like this? Can you type 8 in the chat? And if you are not yet tracking your expenses and income, you can type no. Wow, very good. So I can skip already lah. Everyone already started tracking. But do you know how to analyze? Also quite a numbers, no. Yeah. All right, let me get to it. Share screen from phone. How do I do this? Start broadcast. Hey, Ryan, how do I share screen from my phone? Yeah. Okay, got it. Hey, can you guys see?
I never share before through phone.
I
I
can't help because I'm not using iPhone.
Hello.
I shared before, but
Grace, can you help your...
I shared before. Okay, let me try again.
You just need to go to your phone, type share screen, and then there's a button for you to share your screen. Sorry, terrible instruction.
Start broadcast, right?
Yes, correct. Start work.
And then
got liao.
Okay. This is how it looks like. Yeah, clean one. Too much info, cannot share your details. So what I like about this app is because it's very flexible to personalize to yourself. Okay, there is income, obviously, income, expenses, and total. Okay, so let's say you want to keep track of something. There's income, there is expenses. All right, so just to show you guys first, all these categories here you can add. Okay, for example, income. There is cash, maybe you do retail, you receive cash and people transfer to your bank. Like Herbalife, if you have overseas earnings, it's through Herbalife Pay, and then many other stuff, okay? Let's say today you have another bank, you can just tap the add here. You can choose, is it a card, is it a bank account, and you can even type what is it for, okay? So let's say, let me change the date to July 1st. Let's say today I receive a retail. So normally people transfer to my Maybank, and see category, you can also edit. You see this? So you can add some tab let's say you are, it's already here lah, but I just show you guys how you can play around this app. Okay, you can add and minus anytime you want. So someone transfer retail to me, Maybank. Category, retail. Amount, 1162. I'm manifesting, okay? I'm gonna receive this. And you can even put a note. What I do is I put a customer's name, Ryan Retail. Okay, save. Then ta-da, it's reflected here, okay? And I show you another example. Income, okay? Because I have a property that is rented. So
Really, just now the transaction, shall you record sales or profit?
For me, I actually put in the sales because when I also track my expenses. You guys don't have to put this in here also can. That one was just like my example of my head. You can use P&L sheet to track that. Okay, so now I'm showing you another example. Yeah, income, let's say it's the tenant always pay through my, let's say your UOB bank. Okay, and which category? These are the categories that I'm receiving incomes from. All right, and then rental. So let's say 1,004. This July, okay, and save like that. Yeah. So now I'm going to show you expenses. You also just tap this red button, and then let me change this date. You actually don't need to change the date. It's auto on that day. Yeah, just that. Yeah, I show you a dummy sheet. Account. Someone give me some example. What you want to spend on? Okay lah, fine, cash. Okay, you pay parking ticket, cash. And then category, here you go. Here's the categories that you can also personalize. Food, self-development, transportation, apparel, beauty, blah, 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 blah. So literally every in and out is being recorded here. Is it for travel, for family, for insurance? Let's say you park today or you spend on touch and go, you top up. It's transportation. Amount, top up 50. Note, you just put touch and go. Eyelash pula. Okay, and there you go. So you see what's left on the total here. And then if you note the tab up there, weekly, monthly summary, that's is a very extensive statistics that you can keep track. So this is more of your personal expenses. Okay, and today, let's say I need to buy my LOT for my own consumption. So it's a personal consumption, yeah. Let's say you always use that card to buy, example. Category, so which category it should fall into? Is it work? Is it food? Health? Yeah, right, health. So up to you guys, okay? Let's say I buy for my family, so I would put under family tab. Okay, it allows me to check my statistics and see where I'm spending, which category I'm spending on. So now it's my own consumption is gonna be health. Okay, let's say I buy 500. So if you see it here, there's actually a lot of history. Herbalife Nutrition, safe. So this is how it works. Yeah. And you guys have any questions so far? Okay. So I also screenshot an example. This is just one of the analysis that you'll be able to get out of the app, okay? Every month, every week, or yearly basis, you're in and out, the pie chart where you spend the most on. And down there, there's also tabs. You can just tap on anything and they'll show you everything. Example, I tap on family. This 38%, what consists of this 38.6%, then it will list down everything that you keep in under family category. So you will never have to question where did your money actually go. Yeah. If you find this useful, you can type 2 in the chat. Okay. And then, of course, before we wrap up today's one, just really want to highlight for everybody again. You know, recently I also read this statement or story that says your first million, or let's say first 10,000, is always the hardest, but it comes easier and easier. So what you really want to do now is, first of all, your homework, go and read those 2 books. Set a foundation right for your financial literacy, and then start to do money and financial management. Yeah, but at the same time, work. Work on what? How to make more money. I can tell you honestly, during my turning points in those 2 to 3 years, my only source of income was Herbalife, was from Herbalife. Yeah, so if you really want to make your, let's say, first 10,000, 100,000 or 1 million, leverage on the marketing plan. Because when you have your first bucket of income, then you'll be able to diversify more. You're able to do more stuff. That, have you guys heard of this phrase? People who make money, they make even more money. Because of this reason, they have more flexibility and then more power in a way to do more things to help them diversify their income and also to grow. Yeah, but for ordinary people, we are very blessed to have this platform, Herbalife Nutrition, for us to make a change here. So thank you so much, everybody. Jason, do you have anything you want to add?
Thank you so much, Coach HooiLi. I have one question for Jason. You know, just now, today we have learned so much about financial stuff, improve your financial literacy. It's not something that you learn in one day and you absorb everything all at once, right? And you may need to continue improve in terms of your knowledge over and over again, get more experience. But of course, right now, maybe a lot of you like, okay, what do I need to do to get started? What's my very first step? So Jason, can you share maybe to us, like at least the first 3 things that we can do immediately for us? What can we focus on so that we know what to do next?
Good question, Ryan. Of course, if first three steps that you need to look into is when I talk about inflations and all those, when it's coming, recession is coming, right? In order to prepare yourself, or in fact, to grow your wealth as well for long term, right? These are the 3 things you need to look into. First step, grow your income. Grow your income. Create more income through Herbalife marketing plan. Leverage on it, right? If today you're working a job, you're working Herbalife part-time, great, excellent, do more. If today you're working Herbalife full-time, great, work more so that you get, because the Herbalife income can multiply easily in a very fast pace, definitely can curb the inflation. And then on top of that, one good news is the 1 ringgit that you earn in Herbalife is not equivalent to the 1 ringgit you earn from anywhere else. Reason being that this 1 ringgit that you earn from Herbalife, it comes with time freedom. It comes with location freedom, right? So it allows you to build this business easily from anywhere you want. So remember, the 1,000 or 10,000 you make from Herbalife is different, is not comparable with the 10,000 in other locations, because this 10,000 worth a lot more because it comes with a lot of freedom. That's step 1. Step number 2, you need to prepare for your rainy day funds. How much of funds you need to prepare? You need to have 6 months of rainy day funds, 6 months of your monthly commitment. 6 months of a money commitment before you talk about investing into anything else, right? You must have these rainy day funds. Third steps, save for investment. Start saving up for investment. Only, of course, the priority is the rainy day funds, but you can do it concurrently with the step 3, which is save for investment. How much you need to target to save for investment? In Malaysia standard, I will highly encourage you to make 50,000 as a minimal target for yourself. Save 50,000, then you can do a lot more things. Good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. So very good. Everything is today, a lot of you guys are maybe brain fried and everything, but it's a very fantastic session because all these things you don't get to learn out there. You need to pay money for courses to learn all these kind of things. And just to wrap it up, just one announcement for you guys. Tomorrow, don't quit yet. I'm going to take a group photo later. Tomorrow, we are having our body transformation challenge photo review. So make sure you invite as many people as possible, because every single time when we have our 10-day challenge, whenever we have our MOP or BTC, is a huge wave in your business growth itself. But of course, before the huge wave of business growth, you need to plug in people to get inspired. And this batch, we're going to have lots of amazing transformation, and they're going to see this and be wowed by it. Okay, so 27 June, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m. So it will be 1.5 hours. So do plug in as many people as possible to look at for this BTC. And then naturally also, if they are your existing customer, you can brief them to continue on the concept overview on teaching them how to consume cheaper in their own program, which is at 3:30 p.m. Okay, so that's all for today. Let's take a group photo, everybody. Jason, I would need your help for this because there is like some bug on my computer right now. There's something on the screen. Jason, where's Jason?
Okay, I can do it. All right, everyone turn on your camera. 3, 2, 1, smile.